At 5K, scratch-built Cessna 210 Centurion, Part 2. Main wing.
Alright, now let's talk about the main wing. I wanted it to be removable. So you can see there I made sort of a chassis for it. Using the 6mm depron, I made sort of a triangle mount for it. A triangle is a very strong geometric structure. The triangles hold these skewers. They're longer than toothpicks. You get them in a grocery store. There's a side view of them. And there's the main wing. We'll look more in a moment at the control servo there for the aileron. So I'm routing the servo cable down through the center of it, and all that control mechanism sits in the middle of everything there. And there's a view from the top. And then we just slip some number 16 rubber bands, and they just go over real nice like that. And there's a shot from underneath. The servo sits nicely and is free to move in there. Talk more about that in a second. And there's a shot, sort of what it looks like from the front.
Ailerons.
Alright, so now let's look at that main wing, how the ailerons work. There it is off the plane. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so I got the server kind of up so that it worked, the control horn. So you can see I had to sort of elevate everything to get it to work. I needed some leverage on those wires that go out to the actual aileron. So to get that leverage, I had to move the control horn up. So got some leverage to push those wires around. There's a lot of play in it, unfortunately. Not a lot, but there's enough play that I'm unhappy with it, so we'll have to look at that again for revision 2.0. But it works. Not flight tested yet, but it works. So that's what it looks like under there. Servo pushing the control horn moving the wires, and the wire runs out to the aileron and pushes the aileron. And you can see I use, again, a couple pieces of 6mm depron to hold the wire down. I used Scotch tape to hold down that end of the wire. To make sure that it operates smoothly, I reversed, put a piece of tape facing up so that the tape wasn't actually sticking to the wire, so the wire can slide around in between the tape and the aileron. So that works, and that's what it looks like.
Weight.
Now as far as the weight is 1.1 ounces or 31.2 approximately grams. So I guess that sounds good, but and it feels kind of like the weight that those Parkzone planes are. Actually, it feels slightly heavier to me than those Parkzone planes are. So you know, might be a little heavier, but yeah, we'll have to see how it flies. So that's the big question: will it fly? And that question is going to wait till next time. One last note there, you can see that the main wings kind of seem far back compared to what you might expect to see on, say, a Cessna.
Centurion?
But the reason for that is because that's where the center of gravity wound up. So part of the build approach was to keep the main wing off of it until everything else was on it. So the engine was on it, the battery, the receiver, the tail, the landing gear, all the parts, everything was on it, and then I figured out where the center of gravity was, and that's where I put the main wing. So it kind of looks a little bit further back, but that's where the center of gravity was. So next time I do a video on this, hopefully we'll have some flying in it, and I'll let you know how it went. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
And remember, Monty Python is good food for the brain.
Centurion?